Hello again, everybody. This is Eric. Just come back to show you four of my builds from the past. I believe they were from the Uptown, I think is what it was. The Revell Uptown series, which they have the scissoring or Diablo doors on them. Sure, this is, I think, the last one of the four that I built, but this one's like, I had the most issues with this one. I don't know why. I think the more you do, the better you get. Some things, and sometimes that works with, but I don't know why I had issues with this one. I had problems with the hatch. It's crooked on there now. It at least stayed on the last time I put it back together, and it doesn't really function or stay up like it probably should. I don't know. This door works pretty good on this side. I didn't really detail out the engine either. I just kind of blawed that probably because I wasn't getting the best out of the build like I wanted. The interior's okay. I don't know if I can get that to show any better without a glare. The interior's got like a two-tone black and gray with the chrome steering wheel. It's pretty decent. I left the plastic color and just kind of blacked out the backs and the seats, and then all that, and the center console, which you probably can't see in any way, shape, or form down in there. Decked out the sub box. Made it look pretty decent. Certain things I did work with, hoping that would open and stay up as part of it. Need to make me a little prop of some sort. I'm gonna put it back in the case. It was pretty cool. I like the color. The paint turned out pretty decent. I don't even think it has clear on it. Back in the day, I would just paint. And it turned out pretty good paint-wise, but it has a decent shine. I should probably go back and polish it and wax it and all that. Get it looking better now that I'm a little more knowledgeable and a little more experienced. It didn't turn out bad. I don't remember what green that was. I used to use a lot of Model Masters. I used to use, I think it was some Boyd's paints too. Some of those paints don't exist and are hard to find now. I don't even know if these two greens are the same. I think one of them was a different green, and I think I added a pearl coat to this one, to the Cadillac. Cadillac actually turned out pretty decent. It was silver on the box. Yeah, see, that door doesn't want to open as well as this one. But I tanned out the interior on this one. It's just pretty much a full tan with the deep, and the steering wheel. This one is torn apart and fixed. The steering wheel and steering column fell out of this one. Got a little bit of work to the back pan of that too. Probably could have detailed a little better. It's also got speakers in through there, which you can kind of see through the tinted window. It's a pretty cool one. I liked the Caddy when I got it done. It looks pretty sharp. Another one, I don't know if I cleared. Actually, I might have cleared this one. Parts of it don't look pearl as well as the other, but it's years ago. I'm not going to tear something down that I built that long ago and try to fix it and ruin it possibly, so just leave it as a memory and whatnot. And comparisons, because some of the cars that I built, which these are harder to find, some of the cars I've built in the past that aren't as hard to find, I'm going to rebuild. Like I have the 64 four-door that I showed you guys in one of the previous videos, but I have a two-door that was from the Rides, I think it was. It had different big wheels with it. It was also had the Woody in it. There was a Nova Pro Street that had big wheels with it, which I built that one as just a Pro Street and put the wheels on something else, if I even used those wheels. I think the wheels with that Nova kit was kind of ugly. But anyway, like, yeah, those were from the Rides. I done up these. These pretty much all have the wheels that came with the kit out of them. other than this one. I don't think those are off of another kit. Actually, those are too. Yeah, these two kits, the Charger has some Dub City wheels on it. If I can get that to open without the wing falling off. Wow, this thing is, yeah, the wing just fell. Wonderful, huh, guys? Have to fix that here in a little bit. But I think, yeah, I did a tan interior on this one as well. A little more detailing on the speakers and whatnot back there on that one, but nothing over the top. Pretty cool little build though. For what was there, it was detailed. I guess I could. That was before I used to do a lot of detail work too. I used to do more with my interiors and ruin some of them because I would not tape nothing off, and the brushwork would just show. And yeah, need to get back into doing a little more on my interiors with my future builds. But yeah, this one opens up pretty well. I actually put the roof in this one. Sunroof. I put it in the Caddy, both the Caddies, the Escalade and the CTS or ST or whatever it is. That one has it. This is the Charger. Put it in it. I didn't put it in the next one coming up. Let's see what the engine looks like on this one. I can get this to open for you guys. Here we go. Yeah, that one. It looks okay. I still like these engines were kind of cheesy, so I don't know, I didn't fully get into detailing. They're basic. It was just pretty much a pan with a part, if that went in it. But I liked how the doors open and the interiors were nice and the stereos, so that's kind of why I got into them. This was a racing orange that was a Boyd paint, and it was like a flat, dull orange. Oh, I got something rattling around in here. It's probably, yeah, the sunroof. So either it was in it and fell out, or I didn't put it in, but it's back there on the seats. I did this interior in a gray, or I left it. Looks like I left it interior, the plastic color. The doors function pretty well on the 300C. Passenger door, yeah. Always something with these, I guess, for me on that. They turned out pretty decent. They're nice little shelf queens. They look good sitting up. Got the nice little screens in them and the subwoofers in the back. Got the little TVs on the dash. Let's see what the... Ooh, this hood just fell off. Wonderful. Have to fix that here in a little bit, I suppose. If fixable the way it is. Excuse my language. Try not to curse for the children. Excuse my language. Got a little work to do on this one. And I didn't do no detail underneath on this. I guess I could go back and do that at one point. This is the only one of the 4 of these, though, that I did actually lower. If I can get it. Yeah, that one's... The rest of them sit pretty well stock ride height. But these are pretty easy to lower because they have the metal axles. Probably could go back and lower these now if I really felt like it, but the Charger's sitting up high. I wanted to hammer it. I should have hammered all of them, to be honest. See, I kind of knew that would be too close. But, yeah, that one's sitting a little high in comparison to the 300. I think the 300 looks good drop. I probably should lower this. Well, and even the Escalade, to be honest, even though it's my least favorite of the 4, just because I had so much issues with it. It doesn't look bad sitting up on the shelf with the door kicked open. And the paint's decent. It's nice look, but it's one that was a little, I guess when you know a little more about how something, when it frustrated you, as good as it may appear, decent as it may appear even, it's one of those, you know a little more about it, so you're not as happy with it, even though it looks okay. Because it looks as good as that one probably does, even just sitting there. Or even all 4 of them. That's the only one I put decals on of the 4. It's the only one I don't know why, and I don't have none of the decals. They've all been probably pitched or ruined through time. I got a folder I'm trying to keep my decals in now. I'm separating as I get builds done. what's left of them or what didn't get used at all. If sometimes I don't use a kit, stickers or decals, but I'm trying to keep those back. I think I can use them for something else, or if I decide to finally put them on that car, I'll still have them. Hopefully they won't be ruined. I got them in a drawer here, my build table, desk, and whatever you want to call that anyway, but got them staged away a little better than I used to, trying to get more organized with my stuff. Doesn't help when you've moved and don't have a lot of space. Kind of crammed into a smaller room, but I have a decent amount of space. Need a little more room to where I can set up a shelf or two in here to organize some of my tins. I can start separating some of my interior parts. I got a doggy that's wanting to go out. Oh, don't I? Yeah, my dogs need to go out, so I'm gonna have to cut this video off. Just wanted to show my Uptowns. That's what I do believe these were called, was the Uptown series from Revell. They are Revell kits, I do know that. The only one I think I don't have of these, though, that had the scissor doors and the wheels, because there was another one that had the silver doors that was, or swivel or scissor doors, that was a Dodge, but it didn't have custom wheels with it. I don't know if it was an Uptown, though, but I remember one of those and it not having wheels. I do have that somewhere packed away. I think the box got screwed up, so it's a bagged kit in one of my tubs. The only one I never had that had the big wheels out of the Uptown was the Avalanche, which was the pickup, or the EXT, whichever it is. But either way, it's the Escalade pickup truck. But I wasn't ever able to find that one. That's probably $50-something or more now. And these kits are cool and all, but I don't see where they're worth that much money, or I don't know. Some kits right now, it's just crazy. You really want it, you're going to pay a fortune for some of these kits now. Even the basic grab kits anywhere, like 30 and up, or it seems, for any kit now, if you're lucky to find one around 30. Walmart's had them off and on. They had some, but I picked out most of those that I want. I was able to get I don't even know what it's called, the Surfshark or whatever, which used to be the Ghostbusters EXT, or whatever the heck you call it. Ecto, the Ecto Ghostbusters, that's what it was. I have that one built, but I customized that. I didn't build it as the Ecto. And then I have the Surfshark that kind of started. I put some wheels under it and haven't done no painting or action. But those things are so basic with the chassis too. There's no chassis. You just put axles through and put wheels on it. Pretty much paint it and build it. There's no engine. It's a curbside kit. They're cool. It's a cool hearse. Only way, unless you get one of the old Johans, it's pretty much the only way to go get a hearse, or if you want to buy a resin body, which I have no resin bodies. It would be neat, but I don't know much about them. If I was to screw up paint on that, you can't strip the paint the same, and I'd be fearful of spending that much money and ruin it. I guess if I had one, I'd do the research and make sure I was able to strip it right. But then maybe years down the road, you might forget it was resin and throw it in the pond and melt it or whatever. I'd be feared. Because if something happened and I had to strip it, which hopefully never happened, but something like that. But you never know. You guys know how that goes. You never want to strip any of them as it is, But unfortunately, we have to. It's a blessing that there is something that you can do that with. I remember when I started building and I screwed up some paints and didn't know what I would just sand them down and paint over them. And then I had two 86 Monties. I think they're the 86 Monties. But I had two of those. I had one of them painted. The other one wasn't started. I screwed the paint up. I bought some sort of thinner to strip it. That was before I knew any of that. Yes or no's, or do's and don'ts. It was a trial and error, some sort of thinner. I don't remember what it was. I believe the bottle's still out at my mom's under my old bathroom sink out there. But I think it was for like stripping wood, I think. Just put it this way, it ate the plastic. I have the chassis and other parts from it because I stole the front mounting point, the A-arms and all that, because it had a lowering one in it. Or maybe it wasn't from that. I know I have a lower suspension set up for my Monty and a higher suspension, and I didn't glue them in because they kind of clip in pretty good. So that way, if I feel like putting the razor lower on it, I just pick it up and take the piece off and switch my wheels out and put the other one on, which is kind of nice. I need to just build up the other chassis and glue them and then do it. But then that's a risk of something else falling apart, tearing the chassis out. You guys know how that can be sometimes, how hard or stiff they are to get in together because they fit well on some of those kits, which is nice because that way you can pick them up and they don't fall apart. Because I don't glue a lot of that together because, my goodness, caddy, if that was all glued together and that steering wheel had fallen out, I'd have a heck of a time getting that column and wheel back in it without, yeah. Which I can probably do that one on that one because the door opens. So, but they, on a regular kit with a door that don't open and things like that were to fall out, you try to get glue in there and then finagle. Even with some tweezers, you could drop it and you get a glue spot either on your dash, your floor, your seat. It's just a big risk of screwing something up and leaving marks that you had something else you'd have to, in a sense, fix, or might make you box it up and be done with it when it was a cool kit beforehand. I'd rather not take the risk. I don't glue permanents. I glue some things permanent, yes, but I like to be able to pull my tub or my chassis and the body apart if need be because of situations like this on kids. Because I used to put mirrors in up on the head of the car. I don't even put those in a lot of times anymore. I did on a few of my older ones, and then they ended up falling out. So one hobby shop I used to go to had dice that you could get to hang off those, but they were so almost kind of out of scale, even though I think they were 124 scales probably. I don't know. They were pretty neat to have. I have a set or two somewhere every once in a while. Oh, there they are. But none of them are on my kits anymore, I don't think. I don't think they are anyway. They were neat to have, and it was one of those, I guess, learning experiences buying them. And cause I was more so into lowriders when I started. That was my first few builds. It was all Impalas, 69 or 59 Impala, 63, 64. That was my go-tos. I had other cars that I bought too, but my lowriders was it. Which I still like lowriders, but I more so like just custom wheels now. If I'm gonna put wheels on it, and tuckage, I don't want it. I don't know. And then they don't have to have hydros, but hydros are rough. My buddy's had a couple Impalas, or not Impalas, lowriders. He had a couple Cutlasses, sorry, but and they're fun and all, but they're not something you want to go riding too much because they ride rough. And he's had a couple pickups that had airbags even in those. Because they're not, I don't know, if you find that one ride height, pretty much a stock ride height, otherwise what it boils down to when you raise with the bags. Probably that way with the Dros too. I don't really remember that as much, but I think those still bounced around. Airbags at least has a smooth ride. Alright, I've been rambling on about all kinds of stuff here, guys. I hope everyone's having a good weekend. I'm going to hop back off of here, take my dogs out real quick. Alright, y'all. Have a good one.